Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Shrader with Remax Real Estate 10 here in Morristown, Tennessee. And today's Monday market report is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to talk to you about real estate today because honestly, real estate is probably not what anybody in East Tennessee is thinking about right now. I'm sure if you're not local, you have heard on the news about Hurricane Helene and the damage that it caused in numerous states, but I don't know that the severity of the flooding that happened in East Tennessee is being covered nationally. Um, so we have counties, a lot of the Northeast Tennessee counties, Unicoi, Washington, Greene County, and Cott County, and even Southeast Hamlin County, that have seen catastrophic flooding as a result of the rain and the wind that came through due to the hurricane/tropical storm last week. We saw, probably over 100,000 people easily without power, even in places that didn't have flooding occur. My brother and sister-in-law live here in Morristown, and they were without power for well over 48 hours due to down trees, down power lines, things like that. So I think from what I'm understanding now, a lot of the flood water is receding, and so now cleanup begins. Um, I do know that Greeneville, Tennessee is currently without water. The pump station that takes care of their water supply was submerged by the Nolichucky River, and it is beyond repair. So they are going to have to rebuild that infrastructure. Newport is currently without usable water. Most of Newport and Cott County are without power. Um, I've lived here. I'm a Morristown native. I've lived here my whole life, and I have never seen anything like this ever. Um, it's very devastating. It's been a very emotional time, even for those of us who weren't directly affected by the flood. I have friends that live in the Newport area. I have clients that live in some of these areas that were affected by flooding, and it just breaks your heart to look at the videos, the photos, and the devastation that happened. So I'm going to share with you some of these photos, and these are taken from when the flooding occurred. This is at the Hartford exit, which is exit 440 off of Interstate 40. Pretty much everything underwater. This is a photo of I-40 where the interstate actually fell into the river there. Um, I-40 will be shut down for quite a while as they try to rebuild that. These are photos of the Unicoi County Hospital, and I think this did make the news, that the water started coming so quickly that nobody could get to this hospital. People could not get to their cars fast enough, and what they ended up having to do was evacuate everyone, patients, everyone in the building, to the roof to avoid the flooding. You can see how deep the water is here by the pictures of these cars. Um, this is the Nolichucky Dam, pouring water over it. Again, this is Hartford, Tennessee, that I-40 exit 440 exit. This is the Unicoi County Hospital. You can see the people on top of the roof here. You can see how high that water is based on the window level. This is Barbarossa Saloon over in the Del Rio area, on the highway between Newport and Del Rio. It was washed away by the water. There is nothing there. This is a picture of Highway 2570 headed from Newport to Del Rio. This is the Lakeside Marina here on Cherokee Lake. This was due to the high winds that came through. This is Del Rio, Tennessee. Another photo of Del Rio. This is up in Elizabethton, Tennessee. This is a photo of one of the bridges in Greeneville. that just collapsed from the raging water. There were actually, I think, 3 different bridges that have collapsed as a result of the flood waters. This is the same bridge, just a different side. This is, I believe, the old Conagra warehouse that's up in Newport. This was I-26 in Unicoi County. So we have I-40 affected, we have I-26 affected. This I-26 as well. There's the I-40. This is off of exit, I'm sorry, the Hartford exit is exit 447. This is exit 440, which is Newport Wilton Springs exit. The water, as you came down off the interstate, was flooding this area. This is downtown Newport, Tennessee. Please notice where the water is in relation to the traffic lights. Downtown Newport, Newport, Newport. Again, another photo of Unicoi County Hospital with the people on top. Ambulances. I mean, this water came in so quick that no one was able to really escape. And I sat here Saturday morning looking through some of these photos and, watching some videos. A friend of mine owns a food truck, Big Al's Barbecue, and his home is on the river over in Newport. And he lost everything. He lost his cows, his house, his barns. They have all been destroyed. And he did a Facebook Live with tears pouring down his face. And I think anybody that watched that probably cried with him. But this is what I know. I live in East Tennessee, and Tennessee has always been known as a volunteer state. And we have seen that volunteer spirit over this past weekend. As soon as floodwaters started to recede, we have had every church, nearly every business organization in the surrounding areas post that they are collecting supplies to take to these affected areas. And, bottled water is becoming a premium right now here in East Tennessee when you have 2 major counties without any kind of water supply. So, they're even asking people, please don't raid the grocery stores here in town. If you're going to head to Knoxville, maybe pick them up from there. So if you're not a local to East Tennessee, but you would love to be able to help the people out here, there are so many different ways that you can do that. Shipping bottled water to God's Warehouse here in Morristown, they are kind of like a centralized location that are taking up items to take to people over there. So many places in town are doing that as well. There's a restaurant that has 2 locations, one here in Morristown and one in Greeneville. Obviously, the Greeneville location is going to be closed until they can get water back. And so he is opening the Morristown location up 7 days a week. Normally, they're only open 4, and getting the girls from Greeneville to come up here and work on the off days of the other servers. So, there's a lot of different things that are happening here in East Tennessee that make me proud to be from here. I have seen these communities just pull together, and whatever people can do, they are offering to do. There are excavation companies offer to help come clear people's property at no charge. There are there's a tractor supply company that is offering, equipment to help people get their place cleaned up and cleared up. So I can say that a lot of people think East Tennessee is hillbillies and rednecks and just a bunch of podunk towns. But I can tell you, I have never been more proud to be from East Tennessee than I have been this past weekend. To see the love and the outpouring that we have for our neighbors has just been humbling. So if you're not from here and you would like to help, you can contribute in numerous ways. The Lakeway Area Association of Realtors is collecting supplies to take over to Newport Our board of directors is meeting on Wednesday, and we are going to look at different ideas of other ways that we can help support our neighbors during this time. So I appreciate you watching. I know that this is not a real estate update per se, but if you're interested in East Tennessee real estate and you're not from here, you need to understand that this was a major catastrophe for our area. And, there's going to be some places that you might want to go look at that you saw online, and you're probably not going to be able to do that for a couple of weeks. Some of our roads are still impassable. There were bridges that were destroyed, and travel is kind of limited right now. So, um, if nothing else, please pray for the people of East Tennessee that have been affected by this. And just remember to hug your loved ones today, because we do have people who are missing, and relatives who are posting on Facebook trying to find their loved ones because they've not been able to make contact with them since Thursday or Friday of last week. So um, appreciate you watching, and thanks again. I'm Amy Shrader with Remax Real Estate 10.